while leaders several Chicago suburbs voted restrict buses from dropping off immigrants without notice. Officials New Jersey are trying figure out how deal with buses using transit points their state. Avoid new rules aimed at stemming the influx of people arriving New Jersey. Time through executive orders. But since New York's executive order began limiting when and where immigrants could be dropped off, and requiring advance written notice of the arrival of asylum seekers, not a single bus from Texas has complied, said New York City Mayor Eric Adams. General Counsel Lisa Zornberg said Tuesday. It now appears that in the suburbs of New York and Chicago, immigrants are being left to their own communities and their resources are stretched thin. We anticipate that the number of encounters at the border will continue to fluctuate, a senior Biden administration official said. Last year we saw periods when encounters increased and periods when encounters decreased. House Speaker Mike Johnson and some of his Republican colleagues were scheduled to visit the border on Wednesday as House Republicans plan to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas for his handling of the border crisis. Chicago suburbs enact their own ordinances. Lawmakers Chicago's suburbs recently approved new laws similar to bus code in the nation's third most populous city, aimed at making it easier for immigrants to leave and preventing buses from dropping off new arrivals on random streets, middle of traffic corners and at O'Hare International Airport. Chicago officials said. Texas has sent more than 28,000 asylum seekers to Chicago since August 2022. According to figures released Friday from Abbott's office. This has been a tough one. Because don't want to seem like we don't care, but have to move forward and get through all of this, Joliet Councilwoman Jan Quillman said of the ordinance in her city. The Joliet City Council meets Tuesday, 3 days before Christmas. The village of Hinsdale began receiving busloads of unannounced immigrants from Texas who were dropped off at or near Hinsdale's main train station so they could catch the train from Hinsdale to Chicago, explains Village Board President Thomas Cauley Jr. He said Tuesday. The same day lawmakers unanimously approved restricting bus operations. He added that suburban communities that have already adopted such measures have had success in preventing migrant buses from using their towns as transfer points. The flow of immigrants by the busload into these suburbs has stopped, Cauley said. The buses then go to suburbs that don't have regulations. Most of the measures in Chicago's suburbs require 5 days' notice for unscheduled intercity bus services that transport people one way. In Hinsdale, the penalty for violating the ordinance is a $750 fine for each passenger. And buses can be impounded and impounded. The community of Wilmington, south of Chicago, adopted a similar ordinance Tuesday. Ma.